All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another tier list. Today we're going to be going over subs and specials, and we're going to put them both in the same tier list, and we're just going to be talking about each and every one of them. Obviously, we're going to be going over the subs first, and we have them split into two different sections. We have sub X, sub A, and sub C. These are all the sub weapons. How I feel in their tiers. We keep it down to just 3. If I did 2, it'd be just too simple. And so we did 3. And the same thing, SP is specials. So all the specials go here, all subs go here. We're going to put them all in one big list. So if you're, in case you're wondering, special X, special A, and special C. That's kind of my explanation of these. So we're going to go over subs first. So starting off with the first sub, we have Splat Bomb. And again, this is all going to be bias. This is definitely going to be my opinion and what I personally actually really enjoy using. All the timing that you can do with this weapon in terms of just taking out players that are about to show up somewhere or players that are trying to get away, and just the sheer positioning on these Splat Bomb just seems to be the most consistent. Its timer is near perfect, I believe. I think the timing that I get down with it just makes it feel so much better and a lot more fun. So moving on over to Suction Bomb, I think it's good. I don't think it's bad. And I think a lot of competitive players actually really like this one, but I think it's middle of the pack. I definitely am gonna just put it on A tier. Suction Bomb, I think it's much slower in its timing. I do like the fact that you can put it on walls to wherever having unsuspecting players. You can put it on the roof if you want to. This one, it's kind of more like a Semtex. It doesn't stick to other players, but it does stick to like pretty much every surface in the game. And being able to pull out the strategies with them is really nice. But it just sometimes feels a little too slow for me personally, and the ink consumption on it is just crazy. But its damage kind of makes up for that because it has a pretty big explosion radius, and it almost always one-shots if somebody actually does get caught up by it. It's a pretty good displacement tool, so... But personally, I just don't really have as much fun playing it as much as I do Splat Bomb. Burst Bomb, X rank easily. Its ability, especially on some weapons, I forget one of the weapons that it's on. When you throw a burst bomb, it slows players down and it makes it easier to hit your shots. And usually that's a good also fight starter. Same thing with angle shooter. This one you don't really have to be as accurate, but if you hit somebody with it and then you follow up with your main weapon, it always works out pretty well for you. And so burst bomb is definitely up there. Curling Bomb, I'm gonna put middle of the pack. I think it's really good at getting you from point A to point B, but other than that, it feels like it struggles everywhere else. I think it's definitely, again, a very good way of closing gaps quickly, but that's pretty much about it. Auto Bomb, I'm gonna put up at X rank. A lot of people might disagree. Auto Bomb is so great. I love its ability to, when you throw it down, it'll follow around a player. So it's kind of a constant displacement tool, and it keeps players out of the fight a bit longer usually. And if somebody is caught slipping, it's more often than not gonna splat somebody. So yeah. So Ink Mine, C. I think it works well for defensive weapons, but not a lot. I think every other bomb in the game just works so much better than Ink Mine does. And Sprinkler as well. I think Sprinkler only works in a very situationally. Like, it's really good on splat zones, and it's really good for getting your special. But other than that, it's incredibly underwhelming. Splash Wall, again, very situational, I feel. It's only good, I feel like it's only good for weapons that are accurate, but struggle to be accurate. Like, especially high RNG ones, like 52 gal and 96 gal. I think it works really well in a lot of range weapon. I'm pretty sure Splat Charger has this. Just when it comes to being accurate, having that extra time to make a shot is very valuable. So I think it's going to be definitely top A for me, because it feels a lot. It still feels situational because it only works on specific weapons, but it's still very good. It denies a lot of stuff for you. Point Sensor, I'm gonna put this as well at A. I think it's an assist machine, especially with the Splattershot Nova. If you throw a bunch of these and other players take them out, you get assist galore. You get so many assists. You become like one of the best supports in the game when you have this. It's incredible on the Nautilus. There's a lot of weapons in this that it just excels a little too much at. And you know what? I'm going to put it at the top. I think it's definitely far less situational than Splash Wall is. I might even put this X rank. We'll see. Toxic Mist. I'm going to put X rank. Its ability to disable backline players, especially frontline players. You take one of these, if somebody's closing a gap on you and you have it, you take that, you throw it, and slows the guy down almost to a crawl, and it makes your shots easier and immediately gives you the upper hand on the fight. The amount of disadvantages it gives the player that receives it far outweighs all the good. You get the idea. It's annoying and but it's fantastic at the same time. Squid Beacon, I also think it's, again, another situational special. I definitely think it's kind of middle of the pack for sure. It only works on specific weapons that really like to push up and get into enemy spawns, especially like the Dapple Dualies. And it's just, again, it's one of those situational ones. And it's a fantastic super jump spot, especially when players put it in a good spot, I would say. And yeah, it's pretty good, but doesn't work on everything. Fizzy Bomb, I think, would work on pretty much everything. I think Fizzy Bomb is, I mean, no debate on that one too. It's very known to be a very good special, and I think it's definitely up there with Burst Bomb and Splat Bomb for me. The whole mechanic behind it is if you take the time to shake it, you get 3 explosions, and then when you throw it, it puts out like a curling bomb line where it's not as wide, but you still get enough room to swim in it. So yeah, but you just have to be really accurate with your swimming. So Fizzy Bomb, incredible. Angle Shooter, I'm gonna piss a lot of people off. Putting Angle Shooter at X rank, Torpedo at X rank as well. Angle Shooter is incredibly satisfying. I think a lot of people, it takes a lot of learning, and I feel like it's a lot more skillful than a Burst Bomb because it kind of functions similarly to how a Burst Bomb is. It's a good poke before you start a fight, but it also kind of functions like a point sensor does, to where if you hit somebody with it, they will be revealed for, as I think it's as long as a point sensor. And when you put the line down and somebody crosses that line, it also detects them. So Angle Shooter, I think, is a great special. Angle Shooter, I think, is a fantastic sub, and it will continue to be a fantastic sub because it's ink consumption. I'm pretty sure it's less than the Burst Bomb. Other than that, it's fantastic for combination on some weapons, especially the Jet Squelcher, Vanilla Jet Squelcher, I should say, and Torpedo. Torpedo is one of those big time displacement tools. Shooting it out of the air is going to throw a lot of distraction your way because now you have to adjust your aim to take this out before it does damage to your team. And usually, sometimes the enemy will push up with it because Torpedo is just that good at displacement and keeping you away from that enemy player and helping that enemy player push up on you. So Torpedo is very good. I think it's definitely up here, definitely middle of the pack in X rank, but that's kind of how I feel about all of these. Ink Mine and Sprinkler is incredibly underwhelming. All these 5 subs are just situational, and I think these work on most other weapons. So that's just personally how I feel, and that's the subs. Let's go on to the specials, starting with Trizooka. We're gonna put it up there already. Trizooka is one of the strongest weapons in the game. You have mostly full control over it, and the arc shots, the amount of skill shots you can have with it are actually pretty satisfying. I think it's fun to play. A lot of people think it's boring, but I think making those like trick shots and skill shots are really fun with it. Sometimes it's just really hard to dodge and can be very annoying going up against. So I can see where players kind of complain about that much, and where like it needs a nerf, because I think it needs a nerf too. But at the same time, Trizooka can be very inconsistent. Not all the time anymore. Actually, not a lot. It's not inconsistent as much as it used to be, but I still feel like it's too inconsistent. Big Bubbler, I think Big Bubbler just is okay. So we're gonna put it at A, but we might put it bottom A. I just don't really like it. It's good for support, and I think especially for modes like tower control and clams, it works really well. And the fact that it's a super jump spot too is pretty cool. You get full defense on that super jump. But other than that, I don't know, it just feels a lot more underwhelming, I guess, in comparison to the others. But Zipcaster, it's not like a great special right now, but one thing I will give it X rank for is the fact that it's probably the most fun special in the game. Other than Kraken, and then maybe Stamp, but this one is easily the most fun in the game for me. I think it excels in a lot of the stuff that it does in terms of just how fun it can be. So It's not like a competitive special, but it's definitely not a bad one, and it works well on certain weapons, especially Splatana Stamper. But I think it's just straight up fun. So definitely putting up at X rank just because, again, I don't know. It's probably going to be like bottom half X rank, but going on to 10 missiles, if we were at launch, I would put this X rank. But now that it's like okay, it's still good, but it's not great. I'm going to put it at A. I'm going to put it in front of Big Bubbler for sure. I think it's sheer targeting. Its targeting skills and the way you have to coordinate how you do the targeting is nice. The timing of it is cool. But even then, it just doesn't feel as good as it used to. And I feel like a lot of other specials far outweigh it. Inkstorm not being one of those. I think Inkstorm is definitely okay at best. It's definitely middle of the pack. It's good at turf war and splat zones, and then being a good like AoE effect to players that are hurting from it, because you take constant damage from it whenever you're inside, and it's really good for helping your team by giving that extra damage and then having your team finish the fight. So pretty cool. Booyah Bomb, X rank, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we don't really need to say much on that. It's a team weapon, but even then you can charge it up by yourself. Wave Breaker, I think, is okay. We'll put it middle of the pack. Ink Vac, usually when somebody uses it, it's pretty annoying to go up against, so I'm going to put it up in X rank. It's a great backline weapon, but that's really kind of all it is good at. Killer Whale, I'm definitely putting it up there too. I'm actually going to bring Ink Vac down for now, but it's definitely going to be up here in middle ground, because I don't think it works on everything. It doesn't seem like it would work on a lot, but when it does work, it works really well. Inkjet, definitely X rank. It's just, I mean, incredible. It's an incredible special, and it plays really well. You have to be incredibly accurate, so it requires a lot of skill to do. But yeah, and I'm gonna be real here with Crab Tank, man. I want to put it C rank because I think it's really boring. It's a great special, so it's definitely gonna be. It needs to be up here in A because it's good. It's a really good special. But the fact for me is it's a really boring special. Personally, I like its idea. I like what it does. But personally, when I play it, I don't have nearly as much fun as I do everything else here. And I feel like it's going to be kind of controversial because I feel unanimously people really like this special and they think it's a lot of fun. But for me, I don't know. It kind of just screams, give me a shield and then just let me shoot at everybody and not really have much of a consequence for it, because it's kind of hard to poke me. It's hard to take me out when I have this thing on. So I don't know. It just doesn't really seem like much of a fun risk for its reward. Like, you know what I mean? So let's go to Stamper. I think once you learn how to take it out, it's not that good. But if somebody's like a movement king with it, then it's pretty decent. But even then, I'm going to put it bottom tier. I just don't think it works that well. I think it's far outweighed by everything else in this game. And same thing with Reef Slider. We literally have triple splashdown now. Reef Slider just isn't that good. I'm going to put Spider Color Screen down there right now too, because Spider Color Screen, even with all the disability problems that it's causing, it's also just, it just seems more like a cluster, just a clutter mess on the screen. So Reef Slider needs a buff. It's on one of my favorite weapons in the game, but that doesn't give it points for me. Triple Ink Strike, I think I will give it X rank. One of my favorite specials in Splatoon 1 was not the Ink Zuka, I forget what it's called, but I think it's just called the Ink Strike. And this one's just triple Ink Strike, so I was a huge fan of that one, and this one I think is a lot of fun too, because you throw down where you think it's, or where you want it to go. Cooler, X rank easily, top tier. It boosts literally a lot of your abilities when you take it, and the team being a big time team support thing, it really gives you that upper hand in a fight, and it's incredible. Triple Splashdown, definitely gonna give it middle of the pack, A tier. Its radius and paint is pretty good, but its paint is kind of underwhelming. The weapons that it was given to are pretty good too. I think the custom blaster didn't really need it, but I think it's very fun on the end parry delays. So Kraken as well, I think is going to be a top A, like definitely a top A for me. Its ability, the fact that you can super jump to it and clams cheese with it is it is really annoying, but that's kind of why it's good, and it's a lot of fun to play. But I think this might be the only one I change here. Here, we'll swap spots with Triple Ink Strike. I think, yeah, Kraken's a lot more fun than Triple Ink Strike. Definitely more fun than Inkjet for me. And then Super Jumps, I'm also going to put up here at the X rank. Very biased. Again, this is big time bias for this one. But I still really like Super Jumps, and I always think they're going to be pretty good, especially for pushing up with your team. It's kind of like the Bangalore Ultimate, if you guys know what that is. Bangalore from Apex Legends, it's kind of like that ultimate from her. But yeah, that's all the specials in the game on how I feel. Again, kind of a recap is X is, I think they work with a lot of weapons. A is kind of a situational thing, and then C, I just don't think they work at all. Same thing here. X, these are very good for a lot of things that they do, especially when it comes to just the modes. They're very universal in that sense. These ones are also, the A tier is usually kind of situational. I feel like a wave breaker, all these things, just, I don't know. Crab Tank can work on a lot of things, and I don't know. This one's down here because I just think it's boring, personally. It's not like really a bias. I don't hate it because it was in the meta or whatever. I don't know. And when I first looked at it, I thought it was going to be really fun, but then I played it and it's just not that fun. I don't know. It's just not for me. And then the bottom tier is, I just don't think it's that good or needs to be fixed. So anyways, that's my list. It's a pretty much shorter video than the last one, but that's my list of what I think are the best subs and best specials, and the worst subs, worst specials, stuff like that. And hopefully, maybe I pissed a lot of people off. Again, I'm going to reiterate that, since even in the past couple videos, that this is all opinion based. You don't have to agree with me, and if you disagree with me, again, you can send me a screenshot over on the social medias. Again, my list, my opinion, that's just how it is. And yeah, thank you guys again, but I hope you guys did enjoy this tier list. Make sure to leave a like if you did. Make sure to subscribe if you are brand new to the channel, and let me know down in the comment section below, what do you think about this tier list? Do you disagree? Again, just let me know. I'm very curious to hear what you think. I love you guys. Have an absolutely fantastic day.